Random J Productions presents the Palm Summer League. Tonight, we're here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first ever running of the Reese's Hotring Rumble. Just miles away from the iconic Vegas Strip, 35 of racing's best drivers already and lined up on the grid, ready for a Friday night fight under the lights. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Josh, your commentator for tonight's race, and for the first time, we have a new event on the Palm Summer League Tour, as well as our first of 2 mile-and-a-half races this summer. Now, last time in the PSL, we were at the High Banks at Tennessee, where we saw plenty of wrecks and chaos, but also an underdog upset winner, that being the 79 of Jose Angel Gutierrez. Gutierrez's win during the summer kickoff was his first ever channel win, as well as Pontiac's first PSL win. And with a solid 14th place starting spot, don't be surprised if Gutierrez goes 2 for 2 here in the PSL. Then there's the rookie that was just a single turn away from winning the summer kickoff, that being Riley Spurley. Despite coming up just short of winning the kickoff, the driver of the 28 was still able to turn many heads with his impressive performance, as he was able to run up front in the pack, especially when it mattered the most. And finally, there's the driver who won a last mile-and-a-half track back in 2022 in the Old Golf Summer Series, that being the reigning PSL champion, Brendan Beal, who's perhaps one of the favorites to win here tonight, thanks to a 7th place starting spot on the inside, as well as his prior experience of winning at these intermediate tracks. Of course, with this being Vegas, whatever happens here will stay here, and whoever wins here tonight will have their names etched in the history books, either much to the delight or disappointment of the odds makers that are closely watching for what's sure to be an exciting race. But before we get the fun underway, let's first take a look at our starting lineup and pre-race ceremonies. So we have an all-rookie row number 1, that being pole sitter Kyle Strand, the 19, and the 57 of Jack Haas. Row 2, the 9 of Lipsy, and next to him, the 18 of Bubble Pop. Row 3, the 33 of Patrick Miller, and Alex Santavallo, the Madhouse Classic winner in the 99. Row 4, the defending series champion Brendan Beal, and Ross McTrain in the 45. Row number 5 is Jordan Forbes, the 2023 summer kickoff winner, and the HWR champion Keisha Rich in the 24. Row 6, the 2022 Golf Summer Series champion Ryan Wilson, and next to him, the fellow channel veteran Braden Carruthers in the 20. Row 7, the 84 Jason Albert, and next to him, it was Angel Gutierrez, fresh off his Pepsi summer kickoff win. Row 8, the number 2 of Matthew Burnett, and the 90 of Matthew Hill. Row 9, the Massachusetts Classic winner Alex Mullen in the 1, and Joe T in the 8. We got 2 veterans in row number 10, Johnny Hernandez in the 46, and next to him, Nick Sand in the 40. Row 11, we got 2 NS Racing teammates, Dan Mattiel in the 17, and the 41 of Philip Torres. Row 12, 2 Pontiacs, Kellen Baker in the 21, and the 53 of Random J. Row 13, we got the 2 6s, Madison Chase in the 06, and Brad Ream in the 6. Row 14, Dylan Matthews, and Caleb Rose in the 59. Row 15, Daniel Voiles, who hopefully won't go tumbling this time around, and next to him, the 31 of Roberto Crown. Row 16, some bigger names starting towards the back of the pack, the 88 of Anthony Hernandez, and the 11 car Jordan Stout. And row 17, we got the other 2 NS Racing drivers, Riley Spurley in the 28, and the 97 of Nathan Stapleton. And finally, at row number 18 is the 29 of Skylar Taylor. Taking a look at the track info here for tonight's race, we're going to go 46 laps on this mile-and-a-half long tri-oval, with 20 degrees of banking in the corners, as well as 9 degrees of banking in the front stretch tri-oval. And as for the weather here tonight in Vegas, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with 8 miles per hour towards the east. And now time for one of our new segments, the Number Bot. The Number Bot will randomly pick a number who he thinks is going to win. And for tonight, the Number Bot thinks Dylan Matthews will win, who's going to start in 27th here with tonight's race. And now it's time for our pre-race ceremony, starting with our national anthem. And now it is time for the most famous words here in the Sin City.
Drivers, start your engines!
Of course, the big headline going into this PSL season is the large number of rookies that we have in the field, and we're going to briefly talk to one of them right now. Hey Haas, it's Josh up in the booth, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, go ahead.
Hey man, your first second ever PSL race, you're starting second here tonight. How are you feeling about the car? How are you feeling about tonight?
Feeling really good about the car. Was able to put it on the front road, qualifying. Was really happy with the speed we showed. Car handles well. Really liking the chances. We got to redeem ourselves after the last race, finishing 25th in that one, so I like where we're starting. Just got to see if we can keep it up here and finish up here.
Alright man, good luck here tonight. May the odds be with you. Have fun out there.
Thank you. Enjoy the race.
Of course, I want to thank everybody for supporting the Palm Summer League so far this year. Our first race at Tennessee did very well when it comes to views. Our second best opening race besides Armory Digital in 2022. But for now, as the pace truck heads down pit road, it's time for a Friday night fight under the lights here in Vegas as we're under green here in the Reese's Hot Ring Rumble. See there, Keisha Ritchie going 3 wide down the back straightaway with Ryan Wilson in the middle, Matthew Brenner on the inside. Going into turn number 3 so far is the pole sitter TrackTribe taking advantage of that first place start as he maintains the lead going into turn number 4. Coming to complete lap number 1 here at Las Vegas, TrackTribe leads, but he's going to move to the outside, opening the door for Lipsy to be side by side for the lead. The two Dodge drivers remain side by side down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. TrackTribe maintaining the outside lane. Watch out for the strong run going into turn number 4 by Lipsy and the rest of the inside lane. And these two remain side by side, almost neck and neck for the lead coming to lap number 3. These two continue to be side by side through turns 1 and 2. If this time around, Lipsy's going to have the advantage on the inside, but is he going to clear the 19 this time by off for turn number 2? Now, so far here in this very early portion of the race, much of this field remains kind of gridlock. You saw some 3 wide a bit earlier, but it's mostly calmed down as most of this pack all 2 by 2. But off for turn number 4, now it looks like Lipsy will finally clear TrackTribe for the lead as Lipsy will come to lead lap number 3. And there we see that 33 of Patrick Merrill all over the back bumper of Lipsy, trying to look to the inside going into turn number 1. But Lipsy comes down to briefly block before moving back up to the outside in front of TrackTribe. And it looks like this is going to open the door for Miller as we're once again side by side for the lead down the back straightaway. This time around through turns 3 and 4, Lipsy still maintains the advantage on the outside. But once again, the inside is going to get a strong run off this corner. It looks like they're going to be almost dead even coming to lap number 4, coming to quick lap number 4. And Lipsy barely leading that time by. Oh, Lipsy got very tight that time by going into turn number 1. And there you see one of the drivers watch out here for tonight. Brendan Buell actually helping out Patrick Miller to clear Lipsy for the lead off turn number 2. And as Lipsy briefly went high that time by, he's going to be side by side of his railfan teammate through turns 3 and 4. As Lipsy's trying everything he can not to lose a lot of ground on the outside. While Buell is trying to make himself known here early in this race, coming to lap number 6. It looks like that time by, Bill did indeed clear Lipsy for second, while Jonah Forbes is not going to be side by side with Lipsy for third. You saw there towards the middle back of the pack, there was some separation going on, but for the most part, much of this field remains gridlock in a 2x2 formation, as this time by off 4, Miller and Buell remain your top 2, coming to lap number 7. On board with Bill going into turn number 1 this time by, as it appears that Bill is going to continue to remain committed to the inside lane, while Miller's going to move towards the middle coming off turn number 2, before Bill himself will also move to the middle, and now up towards the outside down the back straightaway. And there you see behind his top 2, Forbes is still side by side of Lipsy for third, while the other drivers behind Forbes with Santa Vallo, Ross McTrain, and Ryan Wilson also making a way up towards the inside. But so far, Miller continues to maintain the lead, coming to lap number 8, as looks like Flores will finally clear Lipsy for 3rd, with Santa Falo now being side by side of Lipsy for 4th. As all that time by, Buell got a really good run going into turn number 1, trying to force Miller to the outside. But once again, Miller maintains his ground off turn number 2 and down the back once again. After continuing to turns 3 and 4, just top 4 of Miller, Beal, Forbes, and Santa Falo all in a single file line, while Ross McTrain now being side by side of Lipsy as he continues to lose ground. Coming to lap number 9, looks like McTrain will get around Lipsy for the final top 5 spot, making Ryan Wilson now the latest driver to be side by side of Lipsy. Lipsy that time by got very high going into turn number 2, as he's going to be 3 wide of Sustry and Mullen. And yeah, so far in this race, the outside is not the place you want to be. You use a lot of ground on this outside lane, as of course Sustry was the pole sitter, but now he's in danger of losing the top 10 as he, Lipsy, and Mullen remain 3 wide off of turn number 4. Coming to lap number 10 as he remains stuck on the outside, this time being 3 wide with Bubba Pop in the 18 and Jack Haas in the 57. Now, Bubba was one of those drivers who did start on the outside lane. She actually started 4th in round number 2, but fortunately for her, she did a really good job of moving down to the inside lane and is now one of the very few drivers who actually started on the outside lane that's even still in the top 10. As now it's a battle for the lead, Patrick Miller, Brendan Beal do turns 3 and 4, with Beal continuing his commitment to the inside, where Miller remains trapped on the outside, trying to get a run off turn number 4 here to get around the 37, but that's not going to happen. It's just 2 remain side by side, coming to lap number 11. These two continue to remain side by side through turn number 1, with Santa Falo behind these two being side by side with Jordan Forrest for 3rd. Now it's like off of 2, down the back, Beal will use the inside to his advantage to take the lead, while Miller's going to remain stuck on the outside, this time being side by side with Santa Falo through turns 3 and 4. Jordan Forrest also remains trapped on the outside and wins. He's not going to be side by side with Ryan Wilson off of 4, as he nearly goes 3 wide that time by. Coming to lap number 12, Brendan Beal, your defending series champion, to the lead here at Las Vegas. On board with Santa Falo going into turn number 1, as he's now up to 2nd, trying to chase down Beal for the lead. And you can see Santa Falo is trying his best to run a similar line to Beal off turn number 2, but here's Ross McTrain now side by side for 2nd, down to back straight away. And as McTrain and Santa Falo continue to remain side by side through turns 3 and 4, this is going to enable Brendan Beal to pull even further from the rest of the field as we come to lap number 13 this time by. And there you see behind McTrain and Ryan Wilson, the 48 car, moving nicely through the field. He's currently 5th this time by, while his teammate in Carter, Alex Mullins, also moving up nicely, currently in 7th. Just behind Mullen, you see the fellow Chevy of Jason Albert, and the 84 is currently 8th, while Bubba Pop in the 18 maintains a solid spot in the top 10, currently in 9th for Dan Mattiello. As of right now, the last car inside this top 10, side by side of Jack Haas, coming to lap number 14. Now, of course, Haas started 2nd this race and was never really able to get down to the inside. And the same could also be said for Kyle Sustry, the pole sitter in the 19, while Johnny Hernandez is trying to rebound after the summer kickoff, where he got taken out during that race's 2nd caution. Behind the 19 are 2 Relfan teammates, that being Lipsy in the 9 and Brad Reed in the 6. Of course, Lipsy at one point was in the lead, but is now barely inside this top 15, which just goes to show you that the outside lane is not the place to be, as a lot of these drivers started up towards the front or falling towards the middle or even the back of the pack. You see Dylan Matthews currently 16th, Brendan Carruthers side by side of Daniel Voiles going into turn number 1 this time by. This is for the 18th position. Of course, both Carruthers and Voiles got taken out in wrecks during the summer kickoff. And the same could also be said for the driver right behind these two, Kellen Baker into 21, as he's currently 19th for the 2021 Golf Summer Series champion Hoodlum. He's trying to crack his way inside the top 20, as he's currently side by side with Max Brennan, the 2 car, for the final top 20 spot. Now, if you haven't noticed already, a lot of the Pontiac drivers are running towards the middle, if not the back of the pack, as they're not having a good night here at all. You see Keith Saracen currently in 23rd, while Jose Angel Gutierrez, the summer kickoff winner, is currently 24th, 3 wide now, with Madison Chase and Richardson do turns 1 and 2. Of course, another Pontiac driver, Random Jane to 53, is currently side by side of Riley Spurley for the 26th position. So far, not been a good night for Spurley. He's of course started towards the back and has somewhat made up ground in the 28. Now, of course, Spurley started deep in the field in the 33rd, and really a lot of these drivers in this general vicinity also started towards the back or half of the field. You see Nathan Stapleton's back here. Matthew Hill started 16th, but ever since the green flag has dropped like a rock in that 90 car. Nick Sant, Caleb Rose, Roberto Crown, Jordan Stout are just some of the bigger names that are relegated to the back of the pack so far here tonight. But going back up to the front, Brendan Beal maintains the lead, with Ross McTrain up to 2nd to 45, with Ryan Wilson side by side of Alex Santavala for the 3rd position. But as we come to lap number 17 here at Vegas, it's time for another edition of Palm Summer League Crank It Up. It's lap number 24 of 46 here in Las Vegas for the Reese's Hotring Rumble. Currently the top three remain virtually the same. Defending series champion Brendan Bielso first, followed by Ross McTrain in the 45, and Ryan Wilson third, still side by side of Alex Antavala. And as you can see, much of this field is still gridlocked in 2x2 formations. It's been pretty much like this the entire night. But with green flag pit stops just around the corner, I would imagine a number of these drivers, especially towards the middle and back of the pack, are pointing out some different strategies to potentially undercut these leaders, as really the drivers that started in the back have remained in the back this entire night thus far. You know, Antavala actually got around Ryan Wilson for third that time by, as the 48 car is going to drop to fourth. Meanwhile, his teammate Carter Alex Bowden is side by side of Patrick Miller for fifth. Behind those two, Jordan Forbes is side by side of Albert for seventh. As now into three, here's Antavala looking to the inside of McTrain for second. Antavala's been on a roll these last several laps or so, and is trying to keep up that momentum coming to lap number 26, but McTrain maintains an advantage on the outside. It looks like going into turn number one this time by McTrain will maintain his advantage over Antavala. And this is going to cause Antavala to be once again side by side of Wilson going into turn number two this time by, as McTrain tries to chase down Brendan Beal is down the back straight. Here comes a strong run from the 45 on the inside, and that's going to be good enough to make him be side by side of Brendan Beal due turns 3 and 4. But off of 4, Beal is going to maintain his ground on the outside as he's going to drive it in going into the tri-oval, coming to lap number 27. Going into turn number 1 once again, these two remain side by side for the lead. And if these two remain side by side for long, Antavala could creep back up beside this picture. It looks like off turn number 2, Beal is going to maintain the lead over McTrain, as that 45 is going to remain in second, and we're tucking right in front of Antavala. Meanwhile, behind the top 3, the 33 of Patrick Miller is now back up to 4th as he got around Ryan Wilson for that position. That's going to cause Wilson to drop to 5th. Albert remains in 6th, while Wilson's teammate Alex Mullen remains in 7th. But as soon as I say that, the two RC teammates are going to be now side by side through turns 1 and 2 before Wilson gets a strong run on the outside and is now going to try challenging Miller to get back that 4th position. And they see behind Wilson and Miller, Jason Albert clears Alex Mullen to take away 6th position from the 1 car. And that's going to open the door for Jordan Forbes to be side by side with Mullen off turn number 4. Coming to lap number 29 this time by, your top 3 of Beal, McTrain, and Santa Vala remain pretty much the same, with Miller once again being side by side of Wilson before clearing him again going into turn number 1. Wilson once again continue his ground on the outside, as now this time around he's going to be side by side of Albert through turns 3 and 4, as that Ford 8 is still stuck towards the middle of that racetrack despite pretty much everyone else around him, as well as in front of him, all being in a single file line. But as I say there, here comes Bubble Pop hooking to the inside of Alex Mullen. That's going to be a battle for 7th. A little bit further back, see Johnny Hernandez and Dylan Matthews side by side. That's going to be for the 12th position. Looks like all the drivers behind both Matthews and Hernandez are all still 2 by 2. Like it's still to start this race, still kind of gridlocked, despite most of the top dozen or so now all being in a single file line. As well, we got some drivers coming down pit road early. That's Madison Chase in the 06 and the 53 of Random J. These two drivers are running towards the middle, if not the back of the pack. And it looks like the strategy call for both the 06 and 53 teams is to undercut the rest of the leaders. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see where both Madison and Random are going to end up when our leaders come down pit road. It looks like they could be coming down pit road right now. It looks like Beal and McTrain are moving down to the inside. And yes, there they are. Beal, McTrain, Santa Vala, Wilson. It looks like, oh, we got a wreck. That's Nick Sanda 40. Philip Torres also goes for round. Skylar Taylor's car is destroyed, as well as Caleb Rose, as this will bring out our first caution tonight here at Las Vegas. And it looks like that was a stack up between 2 of the NS Racing drivers of Torres and Stapleton. Now, of course, with this caution coming out right during pit road cycles, that was the last possible thing both Madison Chase and Random wanted to see, as those two drivers are going to be scored 1 lap down once these final group of cars that have not pitted come down pit road this time by. So also briefly the damage to the 97 of Stapleton, as he has decent amount of damage towards the front end of that Dodge, as it looks like the last 5 drivers that have yet to come down, including Stapleton, include Forbes, Anthony Hernandez, Matthew Hill, and Bradley Ream. And here they all come down pit road, assuming, of course, since Staple has that damage, they're going to pit road for a lengthy period of time. But as for the other 4, it's been more or less just a standard pit stop, like all the other drivers have already done so far. Regardless, see Hernandez into his pit stall. Matthew Hill also making his way towards his pit stall. Bradley Ream, and here's Jordan Forbes as well. It looks like the call amongst all these drivers, just like everyone else prior, is going to be 4 tires and gas to last the rest of this race. Not really much varying strategy, just want to get the pit stop done. You can see Hernandez has already done a pit stop. Stapleton done a pit stop. Kind of surprised that 97 team didn't try at least somewhat repairing that car, but we'll see how fast that 98 here will go during race pace. And as before, the jack is down. Here he is, coming out right next to the 88. But here's your race off pit road. It's like Forbes going to barely beat Hernandez back to the line. But unfortunately for these drivers just now coming out of pit road, because of this caution, they're going to restart towards the middle of this pack. While Madison Chase and Random J will be scored 1 lap down. We'll go back green. But as for that second group that came in, Patrick Miller actually beat Brendan Beal back to the racetrack. He'll be scored to leader, while Beal is going to drop to 2nd. Ryan Wilson will be scored in 3rd. Ross McTrain will be in 4th, while Jason Albert rounds off the rest of the top 5. But anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our first caution of the night here at Las Vegas. So all this started going into turn number 4 when these second group of drivers were coming down pit road. The 2 drivers to watch on your screen is the 2 NS Racing teammates of Phil Torres in the 41 and Nathan Stapleton in the 97. So Torres was slowing down to try to join the rest of the drivers coming down pit road, but Stapleton did not get the memo at all and just absolutely clobbers the back end of his own teammate, with all the other instant drivers virtually getting involved. Take on this another angle here. So you can see Torres was slowing down with the intent to come down pit road, but Stable continued to be full throttle through the turn and again absolutely clobbers his teammate of the other unsuspecting drivers like Nick Sant, Joe T, Caleb Rose, Taylor being all unfortunate victims. Let's go on board with Nathan Stapleton here. Yeah, my guess, that was probably a big miscommunication with Staples' spotter. I don't think he had any idea that his teammate was trying to come down pit road. And speaking of which, let's go on board with Philip Torres. And bam! Just like that, sends Torres around and right into the other drivers right on the apron. And finally, let's go on board with Jordan Stout. Oh yeah, when Mopar got tapped by Stapleton, it sent them right in front of Nixon and all those innocent drivers just trying to get that pit road without doing a pretty decent job of avoiding much damage there. Anyways, we're under caution for the first time here tonight in Las Vegas for this teammate scuffle during pit cycles. Of course, we'll be right back with you guys after this. Our next Palm Summer League race will bring us to the outskirts of the Big Apple to the Meadowlands Speedway for the running of the John Deere Father's Day Classic, which will be on this channel Father's Day night at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time just for the Iowa Cup race, barring any delays. And oh, what is this? Johnny Hernandez's car is smoking off turn number 2. At the time, Hernandez was running in the 11th position and we just got reports he just blew up. Tough break for Hernandez here tonight, as this is going to mark the second week in a row the 46 car has gotten a bad finish after our last race in the summer kickoff, where Hernandez was involved in a late race wreck. And of course, this is going to cause ripple effects both in the running order here as well as in the point standings. Because of the aforementioned wreck during our last race, Hernandez was all the way down in 26 in points, and this is going to almost guarantee him to now be even further in points. But briefly, your top 3 is the 33 with Patrick Miller, followed by Brendan Buell, who has dominated much of tonight's race, while Ryan Wilson, the 2022 Gulf Summer Series champion, is in 3rd. Green flag, this time by only 11 laps to go here at Vegas. Good restart for Patrick Miller as he'll clear Brendan Buell going into turn number 1, with Ryan Wilson now being side by side for 2nd with Buell. As he a little further back, there's Bubble Pop going 3 wide on both Alex Bone and Santa Vala, while also behind those 3, Kellen Baker is going 3 wide with both Dylan Matthews and Dan Mattiello. But moving back up front, Wilson continues to be side by side with Buell for 2nd through turns 3 and 4, while Justin Albert looks like he has the advantage over Ross McTrain for 5th. But for now, it's Patrick Miller back to the lead here at Vegas, coming to 10 laps to go here in the Hot Ring Rumble. Looks like that time by both Bill McTrain gets shuffled to the outside as those 2 drivers continue to move spots. But through turns 1 and 2, here's Wilson looking to the inside of Miller as he's all over the back bumper with that 33. Continuing down the back straight, Miller maintains the advantage over the 2-time channel champion, while both Albert and Bubble behind are also inside this mix for the lead as well. Wilson again looking to the inside of Miller before the 33 comes down the block, coming to 9 laps to go here at Vegas. Here's Wilson again. This time he's going to make a stick on the inside as going into turn number 1, we're side by side for the lead. And even though Wilson's on the inside, looks like Miller's going to maintain his advantage on the outside off turn number 2, as now Bubble's going to be side by side with Albert for 3rd. And with this top 4 continuing to race each other hard, there's going to be a lot of drivers I have not talked about at all here tonight, like Daniel Voiles, Kellen Baker, and even Keyshawn Richardson, who was involved in the last caution inside this mix for the win as well, as Wilson and Miller continue to be side by side for the lead, coming to 8 laps to go. Wilson and Miller continue to maintain their respective lines going into turn number 1 instead with Bubble now looking to the inside of Wilson as she's now going to make a 3 wide for the lead off turn number 2. This is just Bubble's 2nd ever start here in the PSL, and for an aggressive move going into turns 3 and 4, she's going to force Miller up high and Wilson to the middle as these 3 continue to remain 3 wide off for turn number 4. Miller that time by nearly hit the wall as he's now going to be 3 wide with both Albert and Baker, coming to 7 laps to go as Bubble and Wilson are still side by side. And looks like into 2, Bubble's going to clear Ryan for the lead as Voiles is now side by side with Wilson for 2nd. That 48 and 01 continue to be side by side down the back straightaway in the turns 3 and 4 this time by is possibly the best possible thing this rookie can see in a rearview mirror, and that is of course assuming if Voiles and Wilson remain side by side for a lengthy period of time, coming to 6 laps to go. On board with Bubble and the 1 is how Voiles looks to the inside the 18. And you can see Bubble going into turn number 2, trying to drive it in on the outside, and it looks like it should do just that. Bubble's going to maintain the lead over Voiles down the back straightaway. Well, the rest of the field behind her continues to be gridlocked in a 2x2 formation, coming off turn number 4 and coming to 5 laps to go. And suffice to say, if Bubble does manage to hang on and win this race, this will be absolutely huge, as she'll not only be the first rookie in a rather packed rookie lineup this year to win this summer, but also the first driver to win for Toyota here in the PSL. But of course, with less than 5 laps to go, anything can still happen here, as into turn number 3, as Wilson's continuing to lose ground. This time he's going to lose third to Kellen Baker, as Wilson's going to be forced up 3 wide, this time with Patrick Miller and Keyshawn Richardson. Despite that 24 car, of course, being involved in a lone caution here tonight, it managed to be a blessing in disguise for that 24 team, as it's now inside the top 4 and potentially in contention to win. As of now, your top 3 of Bubble, Voiles, and Baker all almost nose to tail, continue to turn 3 and 4. So Baker looks to the inside of Voiles. Of course, Baker was involved in a wreck at just the 3rd lap of the summer kickoff. And even a good finish here would be a huge confidence booster for that 21 team as we come to 3 laps to go. Now fouls Baker right now. I get around Voiles as fast as I possibly can. As of course, the longer these two remain side by side, the more Bubble will pull away from the rest of the field and win this race. And that time is quickly running out for Baker to make his move, as we now have just under 2.5 laps of racing left. Turns 3 and 4, Baker and Voiles continue to be side by side, while Voiles' teammate Dylan Matthews is also inserting herself into this picture, trying to look to the inside of Richardson, coming to 2 laps to go. On board with Kellen Baker going into turn number 1. And as Voiles continues to be side by side of him on the outside, the only thing Baker can see right in front of him is that pink car, and is trying his best to catch up the Bubble. Check down the back and going into turns 3 and 4, Baker finally clears Voiles for 3rd, as Keyshawn Richards now going to be side by side of the 01 car. As we come off turn number 4, Bubble this time by is going to see the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Las Vegas. Last time by, the gap between Bubble and Baker was just over 0.2 of a second, but Baker gets a strong run this time by going into turn number 1. Down the back straight for the final time, as you see behind the leaders, Dylan Matthews on the inside, side by side of Keyshawn Richardson for 3rd. But through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, it's going to be a smooth sailing for Bubble, as Baker won't have enough time. And coming to the checkered flag, and in just her 2nd ever PSL start, Bubble is going to win the Reese's Hotring Rumble here at Las Vegas. Wow, how about that? Our first 2 races here in 2024 for the PSL, we had 2 different underdog winners. Of course, last time was Jose Angel Gutierrez, and now it's Bubble Pop, one of our rookies who wins in just her 2nd ever start. And we're going to take a look at the replay at her bonsai impressive 3-wide move that ultimately secured the victory for the 18 team here tonight. So this was during our only restart of the race, where Bubble was knife on the inside lane. And she immediately got to work going into turn number 1, going 3 wide on Alex Santavala and Alex Mullen, forcing those 2 up the track and got around those 2 with ease off turn number 2. And then just a few laps later, there she is once again going 3 wide, this time for the lead on Ryan Wilson and Patrick Miller. If I had to imagine, both Wilson and Miller spotters were probably shocked that a rookie just making her 2nd ever start on the channel and in the series does a 3-wide move like that, especially going into the corner, especially at a track like this that's quite narrow compared to the amount of house we've been to. But Bubble was able to make it work. Going into turn number 1 this time by, where she clears the 48 car of Wilson, and ultimately never looked back ever after that pass. Now Bubble's going to come back on track and do some burnouts right in front of the fans here at Vegas. Of course, a huge congratulations to Bubble Pop and B&M Racing. They are your winners here tonight for the Reese's Hotring Rumble at Las Vegas. Of course, this is Bubble's first ever channel win, as well as Toyota's first ever win here in the Palm Summer League. Anyways, let's take a look at the finishing results and point standings after tonight's race. So here we go. Of course, Bubble Pop in the 18 wins her first ever Palm Summer League race and just her 2nd ever PSL and channel start. And of course, as previously mentioned, this marks Toyota's first ever win here in the PSL. So definitely huge congratulations to her and the rest of that team. Meanwhile, 2020 Golf Summer Series champion Kellen Baker finishes second here tonight, even though he didn't quite get the win. Still a very solid outing for the 21, especially after the rather disappointing showing during the summer kickoff, as well as the first 2/3, I'd say, of this race, where Baker was relegated towards the middle of the pack. Another good finish for Dylan Matthews in the 49 as he finishes third, despite starting all the way back in 27th here tonight, so a good rebound there for the DM Racing driver. While Patrick Miller is going to finish fourth in the 33. Definitely had a shot of winning here tonight, just like our last race at Tennessee. But unlike at Tennessee, Miller was able to finish this race in one piece and also finishes this race inside the top 5. And speaking of the top 5, to round off the rest of the top 5 is the 24 Keyshawn Richardson. Despite being involved during a lone caution here tonight, that 24 team was still able to rebound and march his way back up to the front. In fact, he was running towards the middle of the pack before that caution happened, and that caution ended up being a blessing in disguise, despite the 24 car getting damaged along the way because of that. Finishing 6th, flipsing the 9 car. Of course, he started 3rd here in the night's race, 1 laps early on, but then kind of fell back towards the middle portion of this race. But that caution really did help that 9 team tremendously. He was able to march his way back up to the front and back inside the top 10. And 7th is Daniel Voiles in the L1, who actually had a decent shot of winning in the late portion of this race. But unfortunately, once Voiles got stuck on the outside lane, he was not really able to recover. But still, Voiles would probably much rather have a 7th place finish than a last place finish on his roof like he did during the summer kickoff. Good rebound for Jordan Forrest in 61 as he finishes 8th. Of course, Forrest was one of those drivers that came down pit road after the caution came out and restarted towards the middle of the pack. But regardless, still, Forrest did a really good job of marching his way back up towards the front. Finishing 9th is the 37 and defending series champion Brendan Buell, who actually won the most laps tonight of 20 laps. And he looked like he had the car to beat, probably had the best car out of anyone here in tonight's race. But after those pit stops where Patrick Miller beat him off pit road and had to restart on the outside lane, Buell was pretty much relegated towards the outside lane ever since that restart and was never really able to recover. But still, a 9th place finish is still very solid for the defending series champion. And to round off the rest of the top 10 is Matthew Hill in the 90 car, who, much like Jordan Forbes, also was part of that 3rd group of drivers that went down pit road after the caution came out and restarted towards the middle of the pack. But just like Forbes, Hill did a really good job marching back up to the top 10. As looking to the rest of the drivers, there you see Riley Spurley finishing 11th. Very respectable finish for the rookie, as he of course started all the way back in 33rd. And was pretty much relegated towards the middle of the pack for much of the race, but that caution, much like a lot of these drivers, presented a huge reset for that 28 team and was able to rebound with a top 15 finish. Meanwhile, in 12th and 13th is Ryan Wilson and Jason Albert. Those 2 drivers were up front for virtually the entire race, but during those final portions of the race where they both got stuck on the outside lane, they were never able to recover and both finished below the top 10 despite being some of the best cars here tonight. As for some of the other bigger names in this graphic, see Brad Ream in 14th, Dan Mattiello in 15th, Matthew Burnett in 16th, Santa Val, another driver who was up towards the top 10 in the early portion of this race, finishes below the top 15. Anthony Hernandez also back here, Jose Angel Gutierrez, the summer kickoff winner, also back here. Ross McTrans, another driver who was up towards the top 10 from top 5 for much of this race, but unfortunately, despite that, is relegated to a 20th place finish. And you can see if Phil Torres finishing 22nd despite the damage he got during that caution, still able to finish this at the top 25. Braden Carruthers, of course, Bubbles' teammate, finishes 23rd. Jack Costa, Perez interviewee, despite starting 2nd, finishes 24th. Kyler Sustrad, the pole sitter, finishes 25th. While Nathan Stapleton, who of course was the main cause of that caution, will finish 30th here in tonight's race. Meanwhile, 31st, 32nd is Random J and Madison Chase, who both tried to undercut the rest of the leaders during those pit stop cycles, but that untimely caution basically killed any of their chances of even finishing inside the top 25, as both of them finished 1 lap down. And as for the last 3 drivers, of course, Johnny Hernandez blew up as we're coming to the green flag and will finish 33rd. Another bad finish for that 46 team here tonight, where both Caleb Rose and Skylar Taylor both got heavy damage to their cars during a lone caution of the night's race, and will finish 34th and 35th respectively. And now for the point standings after race number 2. And as you can see, tonight's winner of Bubble Pop is now also your new Palm Summer League points leader with 85 points to her name, while both Matthew Hill and Dylan Matthews trail behind by 8 points. Currently, Matthew Hill has the advantage over Dylan due to Hill's better finishing position at Tennessee, which was a second place versus Dylan's third place here tonight. Meanwhile, Riley Spurley maintains fourth as he now trails by 11 points. Jose Angel Gutierrez now down to fifth in points by 13 points. Keith Sargent up to sixth in points by 15. Anthony Hernandez down to seventh in points, now down by 18, actually currently tied with defending series champion Brendan Beal for that position. But again, just like Hill, Hernandez had the better finishing position over Beal as Hernandez managed to score third place finish at Tennessee, while Beal's best finish was tonight's race, finishing 9th. And finally, to wrap up the rest of the top 10 in the standings, is another tie, this time between Matthew Burnett in the 2 car and the 84 Jason Albert. So next up, race number 3, we head to the Meadowlands Speedway, a track just outside the Big Apple in New Jersey, for the running of the John Deere Father's Day Classic, which will be on this channel on Father's Day night at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, just before the Iowa Cup race, barring any delays. But as always, y'all, thank you guys for watching this race. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.